Hi everyone and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us here in Miss Crafts-A-Lot's lair. I am Barbie. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Bullitt, Wisconsin, and today I am here to show you kind of a quirky card. I decided that I was going to do something with this little Piggy stamp set, and I wanted to do something in a different color. So I asked my daughter, what is the last color you think you'd see a pig? And she mentioned green. Well, then I thought about it. St. Patrick's Day is coming up soon. So we have a St. Patrick's Day Piggy card. And open it up, and we have a little 4-leaf clover hanging out inside here. I don't have any St. Patrick's Day sentiments per se, so I'll have to handwrite a sentiment in here, but I think that this is super cute. So to get started, like I said, we're using this little Piggy stamp set, and I thought that was so cute. And it is a kind of an older stamp set. As you can tell, I have the green label on this one instead of the typical black label, which I will show you here in a second, because I also used the Detailed Hearts die out of the Occasions mini catalog. Sorry, it will always be the Occasions catalog. And so this is what that particular die looks like. You go ahead and you run it through your whatever die machine you might have. And what you get is on top of the cutout where you could use it, where you got the actual hearts and such cutouts. From the middle, you get, from the middle in between there, you get all of these cute little hearts that pop out. And so that's what we're going to be using to make the shamrock and the 4-leaf clovers. So I have those hanging out in my lid here, the parts that we'll need. And so it is 4 of the bigger hearts and 4 of the the medium-sized hearts, and then 3 of the smaller hearts. But we will get back. I will explain that a little bit more here in just a second. So for cardstock today, I'm using Garden Green for the card base. So this is my standard card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. Oh, excuse me. And then for the inside of the card, I'm using one that's a layer of Whisper White that is the steps down. So it is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And then for the front, it is a step down from that even, and it is 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. And so that one, we are going to start off. Let me grab my scrap paper that has been used many of times, because we are going to be using the StazOn ink pad to stamp the little pig at first here. I stamped him second last time, but I think I'm going to go first this time and see what happens. So I'm going to stamp the flower that's on this pig stamp as well, just for the fact that then that way you kind of know where to put the 4-leaf clover. So you're kind of gluing the 4-leaf clover over. And I got a little bit of a mess. Oh well. Flip over the card, flip the card base over, or the layer over, and that's why you have 2 sides of the paper. This time, I'm going to go make sure that I do not rock the boat here. I have just a second here to wipe off that crazy little edge. So hopefully I can get this guy stamped this time. There we go. Much better. So that's it with the StazOn. And then I'm going to bring in my little sponges. Oh, we're Rogue Heart. I'm going to bring in my sponges. So I have them already labeled here. So I'm going to do the Garden Green first. and go ahead, load up my sponge here. And I just wanted to add some of my garden green in here. I wasn't after, you know, perfection or whatever. I guess it would be perfection. But I wanted to get in here and get a good spritz of garden green in here. Because this is my little Irish Piggy. So my garden green, now I'm going to go with the pumpkin pie and its own sponge here. So I went with the garden green in the top left hand corner. I'm going to go pumpkin pie in on the right hand side of this card. Kind of give it a little bit of the color of the Irish flag. And then, to color in the Piggy quick, I am going to use the Garden Green Stampin' Right marker. And I went and originally colored him in the Garden Green, and I thought he was a little too dark. So I'm going to take the Pear Pizzazz and open up the correct the marker side and go ahead and start coloring in this little piggy. And yes, my daughter was very right. You don't think of seeing a pink pig, or not pink pig, a green pig running around. I wanted to do any color other than pink because I've seen way too many of these piggies colored in pink. Wanted something different this time. And this is I thought this was a perfect way to show him off. He is just so cute. So yes, the garden green was just a little bit too dark to color the rest of the pig in, and I thought the Pear Pizzazz was a little bit of a toned down, so it makes it, you can still see the piggy accents. And there's the pig all colored in. Grab my garden green here in the right end. I'm going to color in the leaf for the flower as well. Color the inside of the ear because I figured that way the ear looks a little shaded in as well. Sure, you could do 2 layers of the Pear Pizzazz, but oh, I forgot his tail. That doesn't take too long. All right. Whoa, my Take a Pick tool just decided to fall apart on me. And like I said, I'm using my Take a Pick tool. It's got this wonderful tacky little edge, so then that way I can catch the hearts that I want. And as I said, it's 4 of the larger one, 4 of the biggest ones for the inside of the card. And then I have 4 of the medium ones to cover the heart. And then 3 I'm going to added a little bit of a shamrock down at the bottom. So, get this guy going here. And I'm using the Tombow glue today because of the fact that I think it's easier just to move stuff around when you're trying to place everything perfect. But as long as the tip to the hearts are inside the middle part of the flower, you should be good. So I'm having them all kind of kiss here. And if you have a little bit of extra glue sneaking out, you can always just use a piece of paper towel and clear it off. Dip it down a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this one together. And that one rogue heart is the one that's down here. So I only needed 3 of these. Turn them so that, and this take a pick tool makes it so much easier to get this to pick up these little guys. Mine's actually a little extra tacky today for some reason. And then one more down here. And it's the same deal. I'm going to use that little piece of, there we go, to paper towel to dab up that last little bit of glue. And then while I'm gluing and doing all this great stuff, I'm going to put some glue down in the bottom right hand corner for the 4-leaf clover on the inside of the card. And so just going to make sure that I'm leaving enough room by getting that one corner one in first. St. Patrick's Day is always a special holiday in my house. My kids had 2 imported great-grandmothers. One was from Ireland and the other one was from Italy. So when it comes to Irish and Italian holidays, we take it quite seriously in our house. I always make the corned beef and cabbage. So my mouth is watering for it already. So now I'm going to go ahead and use my snail, because you guys know how fond I am of my snail, to go ahead and, if my snail is the right side up, look at that, did it again. Who says that you need to be perfect in order to craft? If that was the case, I wouldn't be here. So there is the inside of my card real quick. And then the outside here, the front, I'm going to go ahead and snail over my misstamped Piggy. And go ahead and center that. It's going to be a little bit more of a frame on here for this little guy. And the last finishing touch to this particular card is the rhinestone basic jewels. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these open. So I have 2 over here. I'll have a little one. And on the other end of your take a pick tool, comes with a couple of different tips at the end, but this one is a flat one. Makes it a lot easier to pick up your rhinestones and your sequins and such to get them perfectly placed. So I'm going to put a smaller one in the middle of the little shamrock on the bottom, and a medium-sized one in the middle of the 4-leaf clover. And there we have it, a finished card. I hope you enjoyed this one. It was a lot of fun for me to come up with, and I really like it. I love the fact that it's a different way to see the pig, plus it brings in my Irish heritage so I can show it off a little bit. So until next time, if you like this, please like, share, and subscribe. All that good stuff, and make sure that when you to go to my my Stampin' Up page, my Stampin' Up website, and send me a message saying you would like to be on my mailing list, my newsletter list, so in that way I can start sending you newsletters so you are up to date on all of the fun stuff that is happening as far as on my blog and on my website and such. So until next time,